Hello. I got an order in. It is my Appalachian Heirloom order, and I also got a big seed trade in from a lady that I traded with who lives in the Netherlands. So let's run through these really quick. She included these tomato stickers, so I just thought, you know what, that looks really cool like that, so I'll do that. And she traded me, oh, holy moly, here we go. This is cherry accordion. I have to wait for this to focus. Blue, green, zebra. I was wanting to debated on ordering that one, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't since I was able to trade for it. This is hippie zebra. Oh my, I don't know why it does this. Yamali blue. I have a couple of different strains of Yamali blue, and some are have more antho in them than others do. So I wanted to see what her strain looked like, so that's why I traded for that. Musk zebra. Ivory tears. This is the Norfolk purple. Yes, this is a GMO tomato. Yes, I traded for the seeds for it. Will I grow it? I'm kind of up in the air on that. I probably will, but when I grow that, I will isolate it in my greenhouse. I will not grow it outside because I do not want that thing crossing with any of my heirlooms. It's technically an OP variety, an open pollinated variety, so I would be able to save the seeds. The thing with that is I'm not a seed seller, so it doesn't matter. But I would not be able to even start the plants and sell those because that is a patented seed, so I cannot profit off of that. I can, however, trade it or whatever, but I would only trade it to people who would plan on using it responsibly, because if that even crosses with anything, I cannot sell those plants either. This has to be isolated, and it's really not for a new tomato grower. You need to have several years of experience on how to isolate your plants so that that does not cross. Sandra's Smile. Helsing Junction Blue. That's a Tom Wagner variety. Interesting trivia, useless kind of trivia, whatever. Tom Wagner has two varieties out that were named for towns and or farms that are within 40 to 45 minutes of me north. The first one is Elma Blue. There is a little town called Elma. It's up on off of Highway 12. Like if you go up, takes about roughly 35 minutes to get up to Centralia Chehalis. It's probably a little bit longer than that now because freeway traffic has really gotten heavy. So you go up I-5, you take exit 88, and then you go down Highway 12 and you go through this little town called Elma. That was what Elma Blue was named for. Helsing Junction Blue was named for the farm up in that general vicinity that was able to isolate that particular tomato, so they named the tomato after their farm. I just thought that was kind of cool. Come on. Green Gabbana. I believe that is another Tom Wagner variety. I know he did Orange Gabbana, so I'm going to say Green Gabbana is his too. Purple Heart. I got that. I mean, you guys have seen my husband in a lot of videos. His name is Bob. What a lot of people don't realize is Bob is actually a Vietnam veteran. No, he doesn't have a Purple Heart. But that one, it just kind of resonated with me, and I wanted to grow it just because of the name. This one is called, I don't know what it is with my Dancing Green Fingers, and I've looked at that on several different sites. The one that I would have bought it from, I believe, it's out of stock. It just looked interesting, and it's a green one ripe, and I really wanted to try it, so I was really grateful to be able to trade for it. Blue Smoky, I had never heard of that, and I looked it up, and it was, an antho. And if you know anything about antho tomatoes, they don't really taste all that good. They're not known for their taste. They are straight up known for their looks, and that one was a looker. So Boxer Rebellion, that is a Tom Wagner variety. The reason why I like Tom Wagner varieties so much is he's a fellow Washingtonian, and I have set out to collect all of his varieties. Smiley Worms, had that before. I ordered that from Bad Skins Gardens, and I don't remember what happened. I think I tried to germinate that this past spring, but then for those of you that don't know, I believe it was almost 300 varieties of tomatoes that I seeded in to start. They all came up, all that. Well, we got an opportunity to brood geese, so we jumped at it. And unfortunately, the little baby tomatoes got neglected. So only a handful survived. I mean, I was able to get enough to survive to make about $100. And that's fine. But I got my own tomatoes here, so I was able to supplement. So I bought 6 starter plants. So I planted 20 of my own plants. And a couple of them just did not produce at all, like Mariana's Peace. I'm going to try Mariana's Peace again, but I'm getting real frustrated with that one. And last but not least, this is a dwarf, and it's called Golden Hour, and I really want to grow that. Now, let's move these over to the side. Leave the tomatoes there. And here we go. If you're not an Heirloom Tomato Addicts Anonymous on Facebook, simply type that group name, Heirloom Tomato Addicts Anonymous, into the search bar, and it should pull up the group. Make sure you ask all of the admission questions to join, because I won't add you in if you don't answer them. Also, if your profile is less than 5 years old, I'm not going to add you into the group. I have made that a blanket policy throughout all of my groups, because I find that the longer your profile has been in existence, the more likely it is that you are a real person and not just asking to join one of my groups so you can come in and stir the shit pot, because I'm not into it. So if you go in there, my admin's name is Jim Wyant, and Jim has a wonderful collection of rare Appalachian seeds for sale. And so I put a big order in with him. Another tomato group owner was chatting with me one day, and she's like, "Lori, don't you get all your seeds for free?" And I was like, "No, I buy my seeds." And I don't believe in using my position of being a group owner to get free stuff. I just don't. And I never started HTAA for that purpose. I started it so that it could be an informational group, and as time has gone on, we've opened it up. We do play games in there. I have a seed bank for the group. I give seeds away. I do seed giveaways, little contests and stuff, and we do allow tomato seed vendors to advertise in there. So it's evolved. And just yesterday, Jim started our AI chat feature, and so far it's been kind of fun. Kind of stupid, but we got to train it. But anyhow, so Jim sells seeds, and he guarantees that he has one variety of an Appalachian heirloom in his collection for sale that you've never heard of. He also sells other types. They're not all just Appalachian, and this was one that he sold, and it's called a Gigante Farina, and it was huge. This one right here, that he put in the picture, that tomato is over 2 pounds. He said off of 2 plants, he probably pulled 250 pounds of tomatoes off. And these are a paste or not a paste. They are a canning tomato because they have very little seeds. And so I'm kind of glad I got that because I wanted to, have a tomato that could be made into a really good pasta sauce. And it sounds like that's the one that'll do it. And so I don't think I need 250 pounds of it. So I think my dog is snoring. I think I'll just plant one bush of it and see what I can get off of there. The next one I chose was blackberry because, well, look at it. This color of tomato is usually the ones that are my favorite flavor profile, period, hands down. And these eye-grabbing 10 to 18 ounce tomatoes have everything going for them. Exteriors are a luscious, deep cocoa ruby red with deep sea green shoulders. Interior flesh has rings of purple with splashes of magenta. Flavor is rich and sweet. Black tomato from the late John Allen of Cartersville, Kentucky. It is an excellent tasting tomato, and oh my God, does it look like it is. I gotta hold that still. And it's not focusing. Yes, that looks delicious. Cannot wait. And this was another one that I talked to Jim for over an hour on the phone last night, and he said this was another one that was just phenomenal tasting, called Wingo Wonder. Look at that. And it is a dark black, or purple dark black fruit with a sweet smoky taste. That's my favorite profile flavor. I can't even talk. Favorite flavor profile. And it came from the Wingo family, received from the past master in Mayfield, Kentucky, pre-1910. Wow. It's an old one, and it's a pretty one. Jim said this one would make an amazing tomato sandwich. That's what I'm looking for. Depp's Pink Firefly. Came from the Depp family. 1890s, and it's a potato leaf. Oh, I bet that one just tastes good. Yes. Can't wait. I think he sent these to me as a gift, which was really cool. I actually had these on my list to buy, and I went back and forth, and something else ultimately won out. So I did remove these from my list, but he threw them in as a freebie. And these are Cherokee Purple Cherries. Look at those. Again, favorite flavor profile in a cherry tomato. I've discovered how much I love cherry tomatoes, so I'm going to be planting a lot more of them. This year I planted, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 varieties. And that's what I ate the most of, and those were, in general, my better tasting tomato, except for Indigo Rose. That doesn't taste good, but the rest of them were pretty tasty. This is Bald Knob Summer Delight. And I had mentioned earlier that most Antho tomatoes just don't taste very good. However, Jim said this was one that he was really surprised by. He gave it a 10 out of 10 for taste. This is an Appalachian heirloom. Let's see. Everyone eating it in my garden has proclaimed it a winner. And he said it's the only Antho tomato he had ever grown that he gave it a 10 for taste. Now, if Jim liked it, I know I will like it. So we're going with Bald Knob Summer Delight. Next up that I chose, Nazareth College. And you can pause your video to read the description. And these were named after a church. And it just looks like a delicious tomato. It's one that I bought for the name not because it came from a church. I don't care about that. But I really like the group Nazareth. They sang Hair of the Dog. Yeah, so that's why I bought that. It just so happens that it looks like it's a really fantastic tasting tomato. And then I was back and forth between these two varieties. It was Bonanza and I cannot remember the other one. And I told Jim, I said, hey, I went with Bonanza. And he's like, good choice. So I'm glad that I chose the right one. And I can't remember what the other one was called. But this is, it's a, what is that, Loudon, Kentucky. Dates back to around 1962 in Floyd County. And it's a beautiful bicolor called Bonanza. And if you know me, you know I absolutely love my bicolors. This year, I planted 2 different varieties that I had purchased from a guy named Larry Phipps, who owns Granddad's Barn Farm. And I've always said for years and years, for probably, 15 years, that Black Krim has been hands down my favorite heirloom tomato. This year, one of those varieties that I bought from Granddad's Barn Farm changed that. Totally just changed that. And that is Clayton's Purple. See, Jim got his original seeds from Granddad's Barn Farm too. And this guy lives in Pikeville, Kentucky. And these were so good. Oh my God, were they good. But those are now my new favorite tomato. So I'm hoping in this stack that I can find one that even beats out these. That would be great. Because, that's your whole goal, is to find a better tasting tomato. This one is called the Almost Lost Tomato. And this is it's a potato leaf. And it's a red variety, meaty and sweet slicing tomato with a good old-fashioned bite at the end. Very meaty center. Grown by the Thomas family pre-1930. Thomas worked at the courthouse in Grayson County, Kentucky. Thomas received seeds from fellow beekeeper at the Honey Fest in Clarkston, Kentucky. I can't read some of this. Original seeds came from Chris Hubbard. That looks like a really good tomato. And I thought the name was great, Almost Lost, because you know what? They almost lost it. It almost went out of existence. So I'm glad that it was saved. And then another one of those that the name intrigued me, but the looks of it also intrigued me even more. Red of Gravel Switch. And you can see it's got some green and stuff in there too. And this is a regular leaf indeterminate. It's from the Pope family, early 1900. Family traveled to Mount Vernon, Kentucky in the 1970s. Or in the E197 off L&N Railroad from R. Pope, Marion County, Kentucky. He wound up getting these seeds from Chris Hubbard. Chris Hubbard goes around to a lot of the haulers back there and so forth, and he talks with the people. He's truly interested in learning their heritage and this and that. And that's how Chris Hubbard has gotten a lot of these seeds, and they get out there so that we don't lose them, because honestly, these heirlooms are a friggin' treasure, and we need to keep growing them. I am not against GMO. I am not against hybrids. Let's just make that very apparent. But I think that our heirlooms are treasures that need to be kept going. If we lose our heirlooms, what do we have? Because that's what we are. We are our heritage. This next one was another one just because of the name. Stab Farm Boy. And I'm like, what? And it's a regular leaf. It's a pink. Sweet and very juicy. Very balanced tomato taste. From Stab, Kentucky, Short Creek area. Later grown in Somerset, Kentucky from L. Nichols, Pulaski County, Kentucky. Another one of those that Chris Hubbard found, but it's going to be saved, and it's going to be grown here in Western Washington State. I know a lot of people that are like, I don't care much for the red and the pinks. And it's like, why? They taste so good. They really do. On a burger or whatnot, I'm sorry, but I don't want a big, thick slice of an antho tomato. That doesn't do much for me. But a big, thick slice of that, hell yes, please. And last but never least, again, the name caught my eye. And then after reading the description, it's like, I'll grow that. This one is called Pooch's Hell for Certain. Look at that. Beautiful tomato. Given to Chris Hubbard. Sorry about that. Hang on. Given to Chris Hubbard by a feisty nursing home resident named Pooch Fuqua in Hayden, Kentucky in the 1990s. He was almost 90 years old. He was almost 90 years old at the time. So Pooch Fuqua of Hayden, Kentucky in the 1990s was almost 90 years old at this nursing home. He grew up in Hell for Certain, Kentucky, later known as Dry Hill, Kentucky, in Leslie County. That is just great. So, yeah, he grew up in Hell for Certain. Well, I don't know about that being hell. There's a lot of places I think that would give it a run for its money for that title. But anyhow, that's the end of my order from Jim. Got quite a few. And then I'm going to be getting into my tomato seeds. Yesterday, I sorted through and wrote down all of my bean seeds that I have. Got that done. Did the flower seeds. Holy moly. And I even did a separate category for my nasturtiums because I consider those a food crop. And my cats are playing. But anyway, so I'm going to be getting into my tomato seeds and getting those squared away. They're going to have to come out of that box that I put them in last year. They didn't all fit in there anyhow. I had to use part of another box for those, the peppers and the eggplants. And everybody needs to just, like, the tomatoes need to go in a big box, and then I need to put, like, the peppers into a gallon freezer bag, and then the eggplants into another one, and put those on the top so that it can be closed up and stowed away. I'll keep a little box out of stuff that I plan on trading, but other than that, this stuff needs to be stowed away until next spring because it's starting to, like, take over my life here where I sit, and I don't like it. So, with that, oh, yeah, I don't know if I showed anybody these, but we got our little baby black cat pumpkins, and they look like they might turn a little orange. That is so cool. I don't know. I've got two of them. Yep, both of them are turning a slight bit orange. And then, it fell down. Then there's this one. And this one is, this might be I don't know. One of these is supposed to be black, and then one is supposed to be like yellow with orange stripes, but I don't know which one's which. But anyways, we gave away a couple to one of our friends' son, and he just thought that was really cool that he got a little black pumpkin. And other than that, the leaves, the wind blew all the leaves off of my walnut tree. They turned yellow. It was really pretty. Now it looks ridiculous. And fall has really started to arrive here in Southwest Washington State. Trees still got quite a few leaves on them, though. The deciduous, some of them are turning, some aren't. Just no rhyme to reason to it. And this week sometime, when Bob has a break, he's going to need to get one of his friends up here to help him transfer the peacocks over into their new larger pen. They should like that. So with that, I'm going to end this video. I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I like that. And so I'll see you later. Thanks.